She continued, she helped the young lady. The young lady improved her questions, her responses. We did not hire that lady. But I said to myself, for her to do that, that showed me the true person that was sitting across the table. And then another thing is this, Miss Jankitis, her room is on the second floor. So when you find sixth graders going upstairs, what are you doing? I had to go say good morning to Miss Jankitis. Okay, well, you know you should be downstairs. And this happens on a regular basis with some of our students. So guess what? Mr. Jankitis, that's why your AM and PM duty is at the door. So she's at the front door. So we don't have to have that problem. So she's at the front door where they go up the steps and go upstairs. So now, get them before they get upstairs so they can see. But beyond that, it's the way she prepares us. Her lessons. She makes sure that they're appealing to her students. And she goes with precision. She's conscientious. She makes sure that she has thought about everything. She has a resource for the resource. And as she goes into the classroom, she prepares. And she goes about it teaching students the way that we expect to have our Winslow Township School teachers teach each and every day. She's there early, stays. I think that might change now because just a couple months ago, Ms. Jankitis became a mom. So, but when you walk into the classroom, you know that the students are there, being prepared as parents. That's what you want to walk into a classroom setting when you walk into Ms. Jankitis' classes. The feeling. The students are eager to be there. They get there on time. They do not leave. She's entrenched in their lives. She reaches out to their parents, their families. And that's on a regular basis. That's not something you have to check with Ms. Jankitis. She does that, and it's just natural to her. So from that first day, seeing her across the table, that natural, caring nature has been exhibited since day one, and it continues. And I want to say congratulations to the Winslow Township 6 Teacher of the Year kid. This is actually this is Mr. Jankitis.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next presenter is the New Jersey Principal Supervisor, Visionary Principal Leader for the state and our own Miss Sullivan, Principal of Winslow Township. That's all right. Every chance I get, I'm going to do it. So,
this is not my night. This night belongs to Mr. Michael Wepler. Mr. Michael Wepler is in his 7th year as a mathematics teacher at the Winslow Township Middle School. He has excelled in this position with over 85% of his students passing state assessments each year. Every year, pre-COVID, before we stopped testing. He is fun, dynamic, and a creative teacher who genuinely loves what he does. Mr. Wepler is also heavily involved in the Winslow Township community, the school community. And I'm just going to list a few of the things he does. School leadership committee member, Green Team committee chair, largely responsible for many of the awards we received in recent years as a part of the Winslow Township Green Team, and we're so appreciative of all of his hard work with that. Safety committee team member, cross-country coach, assistant track coach, and chief manager of the teacher supply closet. Don't mess with Mr. Weber's closet. One of the most notable memories I have of Mr. Weber is him drenched in sweat during the summer in August, trying to organize that closet for the upcoming school year. He doesn't play with his closet, and the teachers know. He is a committed teacher, a team player, and willing to assist anyone as long as it's for our students. Mr. Weber always makes it a priority to support staff and students, whether it is with a new program or a new initiative or taking a risk in the classroom, trying something new. He always recognizes the hard work of everyone and understands the importance of everyone being recognized, playing a role in the success of the school. It is an honor to recognize the Winslow Middle School Teacher of the Year. Congratulations to Mr. Michael Webb.
In the absence of Mr. Kurt Morella, principal of Winslow Township High School, we have assistant principal Barry Shush.
I feel very honored to come here. I had the incredible pleasure of being part of the interview process. Watch her start. And then through that dynamic lesson, I got to work with her almost every day. Follow me around. My office gets changed. Find a way to get her to the classroom right next to me. I'll kind of take that as a Winslow Township High School is proud to announce Mrs. Son Gracie in the classroom. Mrs. Gracie is a positive, encouraging teacher with a dynamic approach that attracts and holds her students' attention, bridging the gap between regular curriculum and real-life expectations. This is routinely seen as she inspires her students through her projected excitement of her passion for her lessons and her student-centered design. Mrs. Gracie uses imagination and different aspects of society to draw students in and to make their curriculum and include paths for the expectations of high school students and bring them more towards college levels. Mrs. Gracie is a highly skilled teacher that is not only passionate and dedicated to the instructional process in the classroom, but she also extends those attributes around the school. She's the chairperson of the African American Cultural League and class advisor. Ms. Gracie is an amazing teacher and individual who inspires me daily along with the students that she teaches. It is my pleasure today to announce Ms. Gracie as the Winslow Township Teacher of the Year for 2021-2022.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I usually stay on the end. If you want to I'm in the back row this time. But you can tell the difference between elementary and secondary. You know, it's a shot approach. It's indicative of second year as we prepare our young people for the next phase of their life. So we see that even in the approach for our administrative and teaching staff, which is the expectation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been presenting Teacher of the Year many years, and I have been impressed by those individuals who come before us to receive these awards. I am proud to be a part of this educational community. We have excellent teachers here in Winslow Township School District. And upon graduation, it is reflected in the success that the graduates are able to achieve based on their preparation in the Winslow Township School District. So without further ado, it is time for me to present the District Teacher of the Year, which is always a very difficult choice, as you can see tonight. We have some outstanding individuals come before you this evening to receive their awards. So the District Teacher of the Year will receive another plaque, another door tag, a plaque, and an additional $500 gift certificate. So that means that individual will get at least $1,300. Not to be spent at your discretion. However, the District Teacher of the Year, in recognition of Winslow Township School District for your outstanding service, untiring dedication, and unyielding commitment to the children of the Winslow Township School District. The 2022 District Teacher of the Year for the Winslow Township School District is Mr. Michael Weber. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our presentation for this evening. I want to thank all of you for coming out, especially the families, the support, and the recipients this evening. It's been an excellent time here with us. We need to take time out to acknowledge and honor our teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know, if you haven't already begun to think about education, teaching has become one of the most difficult and one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. So we need to make sure that we honor our teachers, show them the respect that they so much deserve for the work that they have done, particularly over the past couple of years. It's been a trying time, but here in the Winslow Township School District, our teachers have stepped up. They've gone beyond what we expected of them, and for that we are truly grateful and we are thankful. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Mr. President, I dropped you $500 gift certificate. Sorry about that. our youth resource director, Deanna Davis. For those of you who are not staying for the board meeting, we ask that you please quietly exit the cafeteria so that we may continue with our board meeting. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board, public. Tonight I'm here to report on May 11th, 2022, the New Jersey Department of Ed accepted and approved 2020 through 2021 school self-assessment for determining grades under the anti-bullying bill of rights. Board members, and folks in your folders, you see the official copy, which shows our school scores ranging anywhere from 73 through 77 points. And again, that's at the total point value about 78. Our overall district grade was a 75. The following narrative, along with our 2020 through 2021 scores, has been uploaded to the district as well as each school's website. The narrative reads as follows. Beginning with the September 2011 through 2012 school year, our school district has conscientiously implemented the requirements found in the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act by establishing and implementing various programs, approaches, and initiatives to address harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Since the implementation of the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act, our school district has made progress in addressing and improving harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and the school climate and culture by creating a school and district-based initiatives, utilizing the MyK12 software system for reporting and tracking incidents, and providing ongoing training to staff and students. While completing this self-assessment for the 2020 to 2021 school year, we learned our school district has demonstrated strengths in the following areas: providing ongoing training for staff and students with HIV-related information, implementing programs and approaches to address HIV prevention and intervention, and conducting and completing investigations within the 10-day time frame. Board members at the time, any questions regarding the report that you have in front of you? This is the same one that I would have presented to you back in October, and I have to submit it to the DOE. Now they came back that they officially accepted it, and now the official copy is uploaded to the website. So you have seen this information.
I don't see it in the folder.
It wasn't in your folders as an exhibit? It should have said official release.
I don't see it.
Mr. Davis,
Yes, sir.
it's not in.
Okay, so what I can do is, I will scan it to everybody in the morning, so that you'll have a copy of it.
I'm not sure you have.
Okay. So we'll make sure I'll scan it to you in the morning, but it is on our website. This information was already uploaded on the website, so it's on the district as well as the school's website, but I will email all members a copy in the morning. Thank you.
Mr. Davis, if any of the board members have questions, they can feel free to contact you in reference to.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you. Correspondence?
None this evening.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, none this evening, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Minutes. Approve the following meeting minutes of the Board of Education special meeting public hearing on budget that was scheduled on May 4th, 2022, open session. I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the following meeting minutes for the Board of Education special meeting, on budget, May 4th, 2022, open session.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mrs. Martin, seconded by Mrs. Moore. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves? Yes. Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you very much. Board committee reports, athletics.
Yes, Madam Vice President. Well, the athletic committee did not meet this month, due to personal reason on my part. We have a summary report for, May. I'll try to get through.
Can everyone hear Mr. Shaw? If you can
All right,
speak
I'll
into
talk
your
louder
microphone.
then.
But there's one.
I'll try to use the mic. Boys track, as the season comes to a close, the young men may have had success stories, or many had success stories. Winslow undefeated in the Patriot Division, went to win their second Olympic Conference championship in a row. This marks the second year in the team. The team went undefeated with the each season. The team took fifth place in the Camden County Championship this past Saturday. It was very promising times. The team went up against some tough competition, but fought hard and earned every point. The 60-man roster also walked around outside of the school a few weeks back to clean up the area. There were over 20 trash bags filled with paper, water bottles, paper, etc. The bags and gloves were donated by the grounds crew. As we continue to train, the team is looking forward to a great showing at the final competitions of their season, including freshman finale and softball. The Olympic Conference Championships on the 24th of May, just today. Group 3 sectionals on June 3rd and 4th, and the state championship June 10th and 11th, and the media champions on June 18th. Girls track and field. Many talk about a team that has been dominating for over a decade. What do you say about a team that had embraced the tough practices year in and year out, and you embrace a team that pretty much has done it all? Do you talk about the student athletes and how they had at least 10 girls in the top 20 in the class? Or do you talk about the student athletes that rank in the top 5 in the state and prospective events? Do you talk about the coach and how much energy and time she put in year out to ensure that they always are on top of their game, while she listens to the complaints about aces and babies or concerns about displeasure, or better yet, the amount of time she spends yelling and making phone calls to coaches around the country? Do you talk about the administration as you guys up to support day in, day out? Do you talk about the teachers that congratulate them daily and praise them for a wonderful job that they're doing? How about the parents that make sure that they're fed well, dropped off, and picked up on time? Do you talk about the assistant coaches who just fell in line and beat up the head coach's energy, giving the girls the conversations they may need to help them throughout the day? Do we talk about the athletic training, how they ensure that our girls' bodies are healing properly? Do we talk about the AD and how they supports the team and the Board of Education for hard work that they have to do in making sure they hire the right person? Grounds for making sure the traffic is taken care of. The bus drivers that get up at 5 a.m. and sit at our track meets for 6 to 8 hours each Saturday. This team has a community that has allowed them to flourish. Another conference championship won last week, the time for first place in Camden County Championship this past Saturday. These young ladies have defeated all odds year in and year out. It's because of all those mentioned that they will continue to be on top of their game academically and athletically. Girls lacrosse. The girls lacrosse season ended on a high with a huge win over Arlington City. The game was intense with many lead changes, but ultimately our girls pulled through, winning in double overtime. Goals were scored by Annika Erickson, Katrina Shiloh, Sarah Simmons, Elise Murray, and Emma Sawi. Our goalie, Mia Akaro, had 15 saves, and girls grew and developed both fundamentally and cognitively. Their field perception and awareness were noted toward the final game, and fundamental skills were more precise and intentional. The team will greatly miss our 6 seniors that are leaving us, but I look forward to working with the girls next year in this growing sport. Boys lacrosse. The spring season for boys lacrosse started on March 7th. We started our season emphasizing fundamentals of lacrosse, throwing and catching, grading, as well as ground balls. There were 2 returning players, Chris Bishop, attack middle, and Alan Ron, John, Attack committee, and these two players have had points to the scoreboard, scoring contests against Winslow Township and Vineland. Additional scoring has been provided by Darnell Vasquez, Kai Goblin, Brian Bishop, and Vin Erickson. Vin Erickson was the leading scorer with 8 goals. He had 3 goals against Vineland and 4 against Millville, gaining 2 hat-tricks in back-to-back games. The boys lacrosse team has grown from 10 players in 2021 to 16 players in 2022, including Jordan Atkinson, Samir Rizal, Tyler Parker on defense, Dan Wansel on attack, Kai Goblin, Lamar Jackson, Stephon Peel, Josh Smith, Sincere Spence, have been, our goal has been anchored by the talents of Josh Cherry. Although the defensive man has stepped into the position of goalie and has had many astonishing saves. Josh had 85 saves out of 211 shots with a 40% save rate. He was assisted in goal by Tyler Parker with 12 saves out of 28 shots on goal with a save rate of 33%. All these players are new to lacrosse. Prior to March 7th, did not ever step on, or not ever played lacrosse. Vin Erickson and Josh Cherry were both nominated as All-Star Conference jackpot selections. This is a rebuilding season, as in our first season since the All-Star rebuild. We were unable to play in 2020 and 2021 or 2022, interrupted by Governor Murphy's executive order in March 2020. In 2021, we were unable to recruit enough players to play. Needless to say, we will still practice every day when we eventually shut down the COVID outbreak on the team. This summer, the team hopes to participate in the South Jersey Summer Lacrosse League during the month of July to continue to improve their skills and looking forward to the spring of 2023. Baseball. Our baseball team has grown a lot. Shown a lot of growth within the last couple of years. A lot of pros games even got our first win of the season versus Liverpool. But what I'm even more proud of is our team's composure and maturity that we've developed in the game this week, where the other team and coaches were out of control. They stayed calm and reacted, showed class. Gave some people who were screaming at them, calling them names. Honestly, we could not have been more proud of how much growth we've shown on and off the field the second game of this season. Softball. We ended the season with 2-13, 2 more wins than last season. We're extremely young and inexperienced, low-level softball players. Most of the players have either never played before or only played at middle school level. Attendance was a major issue. Many players struggle with commitment, everyday practices, and games managing a job in softball. They try to stick to the requirement that you must be in practice in order to play games. It's very difficult to progress with the team skills, drills, strategies, and game play if you're not constantly with players on an everyday basis. Boys tennis. The Winslow Township boys tennis team finished their season with an overall record of 4-10 and a division record of 4-5. The team finished third in the conference national division, a great improvement from last year's last place division. Some players finished with a 500 record. Tyler Koshik, Luis Valdes, Maxwell Anya Youngblood. Some players will be playing in the South Jersey Interscholastic Championships at Vineland High School on May 28th and 29th. John Malone, Tyler Koshik, Keegan Leach, Luis Velez, Max Anya Jeff Joe Bolingo, and Brian Hahn. The team moved in both the number of players and accomplishments this year. We hope to grow even more next year, which hopefully includes the utilization of the new tennis courts on our campus. And also the physicals for the fall 2022 for today and August 2nd. That concludes the athletic committee.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any questions for Mr. Shaw? Education Committee, there is no report, but we will be meeting with them. The Citizens Advisory Committee,
No minutes meeting on June 3rd, June 1st, next Thursday, 7 p.m. at the Administration Building.
thank you. Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee,
Yes, Madam Vice President, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee met on May 18th at 6:00 p.m. In attendance were myself, Kelly Thomas, Mrs. Cheryl Pitts, and Mr. Deion Davis. The committee continued our conversation on guest speakers that will potentially address the board and community on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have several organizations interested in presenting and need to settle on dates for the upcoming school year. The committee agreed that we will post the information session with an overview of what DEI is, why it is important for the district and community to become more familiar with DEI, and if there are any state mandates in reference to DEI. After the foundational information is presented, we will continue presentations quarterly on how to continue best practices in the district. The committee also discussed inviting youth to the conversation. Mr. Davis has taken on the task to reach out to the middle and high school administrators to find out the proper procedure and inviting our youth groups and clubs to create presentations on diversity, equity, and inclusion. The committee is planning to have our first presentation at one of the regular board meetings in August in preparation for the new school year. The meeting ended at 6:45 p.m. and our next meeting will be in July with the date to be determined.
Thank you. Any questions for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee? Thank you. Marketing Committee.
The marketing committee, we had a short meeting on the 19th. We just basically discussed our arrangements for the Juneteenth celebration in the township. So we talked about setup, giveaways, the collage we created. We'd like to include pictures and information going back as far back as we can, over the past 100 years. And Susan and I have worked with gathering the information. So the meeting was only about 15 minutes long. There was a little confusion about whether it was even supposed to be a meeting. So we did have it, and we should have more information to find the details.
Thank you. Any questions for the marketing committee? Thank you. Policy and human resources.
No minutes at this time.
Thank you. Operations committee.
Yes, Madam President. Operation Committee met on Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Attendance were Mr. Green, Committee Chair, myself, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Pitts, Mrs. Shaw. Also in attendance were Ms. Boyle, Ms. Chico, and Mr. Mills. And the following items were discussed. 2021 mini project. A, acoustic ceiling renovation. Heavy construction, the status remain unchanged. B, middle high school, high school, refrigerators, freezers replacement. Levy construction, the status remain unchanged. 2, high school stage flooring, project is complete. The architect has received the closeout documents. Final payment should be on June 8, 2022 agenda. 3, 2021-2022 capital projects. Several projects were approved in 2021-2022 budget, replacing circulation pumps at school 1 through 4 and middle school, security alarms, middle school, high school, fire alarms at school 1, 3, 5, and 6, painting the middle school exterior, painting the interior trim at the high school, parking lot improvement at the middle school and administration building, high school tennis court resurfacing. To date, we have received BOE approval for the fire alarms at school 1 through 3 and school 5 and 6, and security alarm at the middle school and high school. The parking lot improvement at the middle school, board office, and the tennis court resurfacing project at the high school. The DOE is reviewing the placement of the circulation pumps. We were also notified that the painting project at the middle and high school do not need DOE approval. As approvals are received, we are moving the project budget to the capital project fund. 4, bids. Bids for 3 of our projects were received today. Fire alarm system at school 1 and 3 through 3, fire alarm system at school 5 and 6, and replacement of the HVAC system for office at school 6. All 3 came under the expected budgets. Approval will be on the addendum to the May 25th, 2022 board meeting. A schedule to get the remaining projects out bid has been developed. These include painting exterior of the middle school, painting interior trim at the high school, replacing walk-in refrigerator freezer unit at school 3, 4, 5, and 6, circulation pumps, security systems at the high school and middle school. Then there's the payroll verification. Payroll verification is required to be performed every 3 years. It is performed on Friday, April the 29th, 2022. All required business employees were verified. 6, lead water testing. The district has tests on water for lead contents as required by the state. Primarily, findings are posted on the district website. We have 95% pass rate. Only 16 out of 333 outlets needed to be tested, which took place on May 7th. We are waiting for the results from the lab. The outlets will remain out of service until the results are received. 7, miscellaneous. Uniform assistance. 8 applications covering 8 students are on file. 4 have been approved and 4 remains in pending. The meeting adjourned at 6:03 and the next meeting will be held 5:30 Tuesday, June 21st, 2022.
Thank you. Is there any questions for the Operations Committee? Thank you. I entertain a motion for approval of the superintendent's report, item A and B, found on page 2 through 6.
Motion to approve the superintendent's report, starting at the bottom on page 2 and ending on page 6.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Drennan?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. I entertain a motion for approval of the Business Administrative Board Secretary's report, item A and B, found on page 7 through 21.
Motion to approve the business administrative board secretary's report, starting on page 7 and ending on page 21.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore, for adoption of the superintendent's report, Business Administrative Board Secretary. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Drennan?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Yes. Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you so much. I entertain a motion for approval of the personnel report. Item A, the superintendent recommends approval of the following action items. 1 through 5, page 22 and 23.
Motion to approve the personnel report that begins on page 22 and ends on page 23.
Second.
It is moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore. Is there any discussion?
Mrs. Peterson, I actually had a question on item number 5.
Yes.
I was wondering, it's approval of the employment contract, but I don't recall the board being furnished with the final contract. Unless I missed it.
That's item number 1.
5.
Okay. That's on page 23.
Yes.
The superintendent's contract was approved by the county superintendent. It was returned. If you want to have an opportunity to review the contract, basically send back what you had already approved, and once you approved it. There were some minor changes on that contract, but they were not in conflict with what you had already approved. However, if you would like to have an opportunity to review what the county superintendent, we will make that available to you. And if it is the will of the board, we can table the approval until you've had an opportunity to review. Is
Yes, I would appreciate it if we could table that until we have time to review the contract.
Table, we need a second. We're now voting on to table, the approval of the central office administrator's employee contract. I want to make sure everyone understands. And that supersedes the initial, motion. Everyone is in understanding of it? Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
So that particular item has been tabled. Now we can go back and do the approval of the personnel report, item A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna ask for a motion to, modify the motion to accept those 4 points. That's item A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That change in agreement? Do you need it?
Motion to approve personnel report, letter A, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we accept the personnel report, item 1, 2, 3, and 4 under A. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Thomas? Yes. Ms. Peterson?
Yes?
Motion is
Thank you. We do have an addenda. I will give you a couple of minutes to review the addenda. And let me make some corrections to the addenda so that we can move a little swifter. So, on page 3, under item number 4, and it's bid number 2022. And that's the HVAC system for school 6. If you move down to item B, approval of the award of the bid of 2022-15 HVAC system, the account number is wrong. So if you can record this account number. Everyone ready? 11-000-261-420. I'll read it once again. 11-261-420. And the second correction on page 4, under professional development, approval of Dr. Jack Mills, coordinator of special projects. If you go down to the next to last sentence, it should read Friday, June 3rd, 2022. motion for approval of the personnel report. The superintendent recommends approval of the following action items: 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Motion to approve the personnel report. The superintendent's recommended following action items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves? Yes. Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. I entertain a motion for the Business Administrator Board Secretary's report. Business Administrator Board Secretary recommends approval of the following items: 1, 2, 3. 3 has 2 parts, A and B. 4 with the correction, 5, A and B, and 6, A and B. So there's 3 that have an A and B part. And then you have 7, 8, 9. And 9 has 2 parts, and that's on page 4. So we're going from page 2 to page 4. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the business administrator board secretary report. The business administrator board secretary recommends approval of the following items: 1, 2, 3, A and B, 4, A and B with the correction on B, 5, A and B, 6, A and B, 7, 8 with the correction, and 9, A and B.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nieves?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Yes. Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Open Public Records Act, appropriate request.
None at this time, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Old business,
Yes, Madam President, Vice President, excuse me. If you can recall, we had some discussion about the microphone system and technician systems for live streaming of board meetings. And I said that collectively we'll do some research and come back with some idea of what we're talking about in terms of costs and kinds of things that are recommended in order for us to do a better job at live streaming school board meetings. I have one proposal, and that proposal talks about several things that they would recommend, particularly here in the middle school. As far as video is concerned, they will install 3 plates on the house right wall, the house rear wall, and the house left wall. They will provide 3 PTC cameras that can be installed either on the walls or on the tripod. These cameras will be controlled via our remote control system. It goes on to explain the cameras will be wired through the plates. Noted above, it will be connected to the camera control unit that will convert the CAT camera video to the USB network, etc. And I'm not going to pretend that I know all the lingo to all this technical terminology, but I did my best. However, the wireless microphone system, remove and replace channels of the wireless microphones and add 2 additional channels. For a total of 16. Each new receiver will include 1 handheld, 1 belt pack, and 1 tabletop transmitter. It will give us, we'll be able to use a mix of all audio in the room and feed YouTube streaming, etc. reprogramming and reconfiguration of the existing audio system, retune the entire room with new audio configuration, provide wireless control options and iPad/Surface control of the audio system. The numbers are as follows for the equipment and the costs, which includes the equipment, cables, the connectors, the hardware, the graph panels, $86,000. For professional integration services, $21,000. General administrative costs, $1,400, for a total of $109,451. And then, of course, there are additional costs if you want to provide or purchase one of the service plans that they have after the warranty expires. Now, we didn't get a lot of submissions, and something of that magnitude, particularly cost, would have to be a big item. So it could come in higher, it could come in less, but we had to have some idea what we're talking about. As we discussing here recently, that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this particular room in order for it to work. We talked about some options, like there was one recommendation of moving around from school to school to enhance or to encourage more participation from the community. This wireless microphone system will possibly be able to assist us with that. However, all the internal needs of those buildings will also have to be done in order for it to work. So that's just an idea of what we're talking about in terms of costs. I just wanted to make sure I emphasize the fact that what we're presently using is not adequate, therefore we will continue to have the problems. It will not facilitate nor provide us with the system that we need in order for us to be effective in doing so. The other question would be, do you want to spend $100,000 to accommodate that need? At this point, that's pretty much where we are. If we put out for bid, we just have to prepare our own specs, of course, and see how many individuals will bid on that particular project. And like I said, it may be more or it could be less. So that's pretty much where we are as far as just doing some tentative research and preparation for live streaming and board meetings at this time. Are there any questions?
Yes, question, the iPad, is that going to be affixated on the wall, or is it going to be handheld or on the desktop?
I will maybe ask one of our techs, Mr. Scott, maybe might be able to assist us in gathering this information.
In your hand.
Okay.
And what was that answer, Mr. Scott? I'm sorry.
In your hand.
Because I've seen them both ways on the wall where it's easier access for other people instead of just handheld. Okay. And they're talking about one iPad.
I don't have that quote for us.
Well, he doesn't have it in front of me, but at this point, and I'm not saying, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm an expert in this area. I provide you, let me go back to the information.
Well, not to labor the issue, there is a few that wanted to be a part of it. So is it possible, I think, our president had asked if I would work, look into it if he wants.
Well, this, based on the information I have in front of me, wireless microphone system will provide wireless control options for iPad/Surface control of the audio system.
Okay.
Now, it appears to be one particular item. Again, here's what we need to understand. The company or companies, whoever they can give you whatever you want. You know, that I'm thinking that's pretty much optional. So whatever the board wants, you look at something, you say, well, can we have this or can we have that? And sure, you can have it as long as you want to pay for it.
I would suggest, and this is myself speaking, I would suggest that we continue to research. That's a hard figure and not looking at the system. Having it in front of me.
Well, the other issue we have is we put out to several companies and only one responded. So I think at this point, trying to expand as much as possible, going beyond what we're doing now in terms of New Jersey, we find something we're willing. I think at this point, developing the specifications, put it out there with what we think we want, and then see how many companies will bid on it. And then whoever, if we can put in the specifications exactly what you want, and you can make the determination based on, what it's bid, they'll give you whatever you want.
Board members, do you think that we should, look into this a little bit further, given what Ms. Dr. Soti just indicated, that yes, you can, bid for it, but we need to have the specifications. So I know there was a few that were interested in, working with that.
I had a question. Did that proposal come from our current technology provider, or was that another company?
But we don't name proposals for any particular organization. No, that's not in-house. In-house was partly responsible for us doing research. So that's not an in-house bid. On the other hand, you don't indicate where you get the information from, because the bidding process must be independent, and everyone who bids on the job must have the same opportunities in order for them to win that bid. So you can't talk about individual companies or use their specifications or anything like that, because we don't want to mislead anyone for them to think or believe that they may be a successful company. So at this point, my response to that is no, it is not internal. It is an external company that provides us with that information. So if you want, and the reason I'm bringing it to you today, because we don't have a lot of time between now and our last board meeting, the summer. So if we're still looking and researching, you're not going to have anything in place for September. I was just trying to give you some information as we move forward. But if we want to continue to expand our search, that's fine. I like the problem, that's an option. But I don't know what your timeline is. Do you want to have things in place so that you can live stream school board meetings in September? Or are we waiting another year, year and a half, 6 months? I don't know what your timeline is, because if that's the case, then sure, we can expand our search and stay out there. For example, if I didn't give the information tonight just based on one, but if you wanted me to wait until I had 3 or 4, I may not have been able to give you any information tonight. I would probably have to wait months. And you can't make people, or I don't know how to encourage people to submit a quote for whatever item it is. A lot of companies don't do that anymore. They just wait for the item to be, posted so they can bid it. But at this point, it's at the will of the board. If you want us to expand our search and don't necessarily have a timeline as to when you want this completed.
So since you can't name the company, obviously you wouldn't be able to forward that proposal, even if you blanked out the numbers. Just, I'm not a technology expert either, but just preliminary what I heard, that seems like more than what we actually need. Which would bring me to a second point, in that since none of us here really are technology experts, my next suggestion, and I was planning on doing this sometime down the road, was the technology audit, to see what we actually needed.
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, you hear me?
Yeah, I need that. What was that?
No, I was saying that based on what you said, it seems like just to me that it's more than what we need. And since none of us here are admittedly a technology expert, my next suggestion was going to be that we had a technology audit just to see what we as a district needed going forward.
And would you define technology audit? What does that mean?
Well, at some point I was thinking just along with, the live streaming purposes, maybe looking at website and the social media and all those other things that I had been talking about previously. Like the whole package.
That would also include the buildings.
It could, in theory.
Well, technology wise, it would have to be the building, the wire.
I'm confused because.
What she's looking at is trying to determine where we stand technology-wise, so that we can have adequate or above adequate live streaming and some of the social medias like Facebook, if you want to go Facebook Live, that you have to look at the whole system. And the system includes your buildings. I'm looking at this building and all the other.
Not necessarily, I just meant more about like, I was thinking the website, the social media part, and what we use currently to live stream and broadcast our meetings. We wouldn't necessarily have to look building to building, and the website too, to do a deep dive, because a lot of people have been coming and saying that there are links that are broken on the website and are not going where they need to go. So just kind of like a house cleaning, if you will. But again, because I'm not a technology expert, I have a little bit of knowledge, but I wouldn't feel comfortable listening to what Dr. Coates just said and saying, yes, we need that. It sounds like a lot, and the price tag is very high.
So what you're projecting, and if the board agrees with it, we're looking at a 6 months review. At least.
Well, Dr. Christie, if I might,
Madam President.
Could Dr. Carter, because she was actively involved in gathering this information, Dr. Carter, would you have something to add?
well, I think that we have done what we're supposed to do, and that is to make an assessment of what we currently have in district, and that's how we have arrived at what we feel our needs are. So it wasn't done just by saying this doesn't work. The technicians were involved. We did get people out, so we've already done that. With regard to the website, that's totally different. Has nothing to do with this. We also evaluate that. We're also in the process of putting out a bid or reposting for the website. So we've already done an assessment about technology needs. Now, Mrs. Peterson, you said you didn't think that this, or Mrs. Nieves, that this really had to do with all of the buildings. Well, I would say that it does, especially if you're looking at a sound system and you have proposed that we move the board meetings to different locations. Well, it does mean that we will have to do an assessment of each one of the buildings. We have issues at, let's say, school 5 or 6, where it's hard to get reception. So we would not even think of looking at a system that we would not potentially be able to use at other locations since that has come up. So it may seem like it's a lot and this is more than what we need, but we feel that if we are going to attempt to address what the board brought forward as concerns with our technology, then we ask for all that to be provided in the proposal. So with regard to the capability of using an iPad or Surface Pro, those are things that we currently use in district. And so for us, we would not be looking to have anything mounted, because if we're looking to go from one school to the next, we're not going to mount an iPad in every one of the schools that we may possibly be there once a month, or it may not work. So I feel that it is a costly proposal. However, we took into consideration all of the things that we felt would be needed to enhance the board presentations. So I think we have done an audit.
Vice President, because I'm spearheading the project, of course, with the help of all the other individuals, I'm still confused. I'm not sure exactly what it is that we want at this point. I'm not sure which way to go at this point. I really don't.
Can I interject for a second? So I get a little nervous when we start talking about cost and numbers on things we might go out and bid, because just sort of our general costs are not supposed to be out there on the street in public. Probably should have said something earlier, but I wasn't sure where we were going. As I understand what we were doing is I think Mrs. Pitts had asked the vice president to spearhead an effort in a committee format, interacting with the technology department to identify what is the product, to what extent do we want to get into the product, Is it strictly related to showing our meetings and improving our ability to communicate with the folks out there that are watching? Apparently, there's some difficulties with that. I agree that the website thing would be a whole different, so if links are down, I mean, that's something that we ought to be advising Dr. Park about, not at the meeting, maybe pick up the phone and call her and tell her, hey, I'm hearing these links are down, and I'm sure, I've worked with these folks in the past, that they can deal with those kinds of things. I think that's a little bit separate, but again, that is gonna shock everybody, I don't have that technical background either, Doc. But, I thought you were gonna meet as a small group with maybe technology and just identify. And I know you've been interested, ma'am, and I know that you were asked to spearhead it, Madam Vice President, so maybe a small group will identify, get involved in this to identify what you want. I think until we are talking to those gentlemen, we're going to sit here and guess what we're talking about, because I don't know what we're talking about either, nor will I ever be able to. So I think that's sort of got to get together. So this is what we want. What do you guys think? What would you recommend? How can we make those improvements? And use our staff to tell us what we really need to do, or these are the companies that will give you some numbers, but those numbers should be floated publicly. If we do an estimate, pre-bid estimate, that's going to be confidential. There's non-collusion affidavit signed and things like that in the bidding process. We're talking these kind of numbers, go through it that way. So I think you do better if you set something up like that, Madam President and Vice President, but that's just my 2 cents. I'm a little concerned about discussing, we want to buy this type of camera at this type of, we pay this cost, we go out of bid. It could give some folks some unfair advantage who would have tuned in and watched this. My 2 cents.
Madam Vice President, can I ask that we get together with the committee and tag Dr. Parker and Dr. Wickie before the next board meeting, because I honestly think this is something we should have in place before the start of the next school year, because the parents have been complaining about this long enough, and the community has been complaining long enough. And it's something that we honestly should have in place, because technically the superintendent, assistant superintendent will have the best possible answers for us as far as drawing on specs, so that way we can get this out for bid as fast as possible and get the work done for what we need, so that way we know what we're going to move forward with. So if we can put that in place tonight, so that way we can move forward with this, that way we can all understand exactly what we're doing.
I think the committee can come together in between, but I would also ask the board to do one more thing, because the end of the school year is coming and we need to get something into New Jersey School Board Association. So I'm going to tax you again, and I'm having faith that all of you will do your due diligence in getting the tax done. So just the committee can come together and we can meet and see the availability of technicians and also Dr. Wickie and Dr. Parker. I will do that tonight, so we don't have to belabor that issue. But the next issue I need everyone to work with in the next board meeting having completed. Is there any other new business?
No.
Old business, okay. So new business, board member?
Madam Vice President,
Yes.
this pertains to the Juneteenth celebration. Thank you for those who signed up for time for Juneteenth. Did not sign up, email me or text me. I did hear from some members, but I absolutely volunteers. And at the very next board meeting, I will have a paper with the times that we.
Thank you. Also, with new business, as you know, June 30th is almost here, And the task of our board is the superintendent's evaluation. And if we go according to the one that we did last year, which is on New Jersey School Board Association website, and is available, because I went on and looked at it, we need to have it done by next week, next board meeting. I don't need to ask people to make sure they do it. If you can jot it down and get it done by the next week or so, because that tabulation has to come back to us from the New Jersey School Board Association. So I am gonna let them know, so you can get your task done, and then the committee will be able to, assemble. I'm asking for the same committee just because of the timeline. The timeline is so short, I'm asking to serve on the committee is Mrs. Martin, Mrs. Thomas, and Mrs. Moore. Am I correct? And I know that you will do your due diligence. Thank you to the three of you. Also, our superintendent gave us the assessment of the goals about 6 weeks ago. Pull them out and make sure when you do your superintendent's evaluation, you're going against the goals. That's what we're here for, is the goals that we set up in August. We need to balance it, and that was given. And that was the recommendation from the committee before, that we have our goals, 6 month assessment of where we are at with our goals. So that was given to us. Please, if you misplace yours, reach out to the superintendent and see that can be forwarded to you. Do I have everyone's commitment on that part? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
So, Madam Vice President, it's election week, right? Or before?
The next board meeting will be on June 8th. Yes. I didn't go on mine. At the next board meeting, it needs to be done. And preferably June 7th. So I can't say midnight or waiting, because I'm going to be asking Terry from my school board to make sure we can get those tabulations right away. Any other informational items?
Yes, Madam Vice President. I would just,
Yes.
I would just like to commend, the play. It was really, really good. The musical, it was funny. It was, I had people said to me that they should take this play out, from the school, and in our new created, auditorium. And I just want to commend them. They did an excellent job, excellent job. I enjoyed it. Everyone else that I was around recently, they enjoyed it very much. So,
Thank you.
Yes, Madam Vice President, Board and Committee, I have some information items. As a reminder, the Memorial Day ceremony is May 30th, which is Monday, at the Municipal Complex. Board members who signed up to be a part of the Memorial Day exercise, they're asking that you arrive at least by 9:30 a.m. I think those of you who signed up, they know who you are. I think it's maybe about 4 or 5. I'm sure the names. Okay? As you know, we are nearing the district end of the year activities. I'm going to mention a few, but if you go to the school's website, there's a lot more, of course, and I don't want to just go on and on with those activities for each of the schools. There's a lot of end of the year activities that are scheduled from now until the end of the school year. At our next school board meeting, which is June the 8th, we have the superintendent awards. That is scheduled for our next meeting. We are, of course, identifying the best of the best among our upper elementary, middle, and high school students. We're looking forward to that activity. The middle school promotion ceremony is June 15th, and the high school graduation is June 16th. And if you are interested in attending any of those activities, I would suggest that you, other than what I've mentioned here, particularly at the building level, that you contact, the building principal level that you are going to be participating or you're going to be there at that activity, so that you can prepare for it. Right? That concludes my information items for this evening.
Thank you. Anyone else for information items? Public comments. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of our community. We also believe in the rights of citizens to observe board meetings, to ensure that all our citizens have the opportunity to attend school board meetings and offer comments, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that speakers follow the guidelines for making public comments. The board secretary will recognize those individuals in the audience and on the line who wish to make comments. Please respect the following procedures. 1, all members of the public attending school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. 2, state your full name and address. 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. 4, submit your questions to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number when you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable time. And 5, individuals offering citizens' comments are not permitted to make personal attacks on any district employee, board member, or other testifiers or members of the public. I entertain a motion to enter into public comments.
Motion to enter into public comment.
Second. It's been moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore, for approval of public comments to be granted. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion has carried. Do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, Madam Vice President, Dr. Stephen Dio has signed up.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Dr. Stephen Dale, 104 Rose Court, Sisterville, New Jersey, 08081. I stand here this evening as a husband, father, educator, and member of the Winslow Township community. I bring over 15 years of experience in education, teaching experience in all grade levels for social studies, principal, assistant principal, curriculum director, currently the assistant director of education for a special education academy in Philadelphia. I have overseen curriculum gap analyses, instructional technology audits, all to make sure that everything is properly aligned to our vision for student learning achievement. Tonight, I'd also like to recognize my daughter Katie, who's in the audience. We are here because we are interested in joining a winning team. We are passionate about Winslow Township, our brand new home, and adding to our family. So tonight, I just wanted to publicly recognize the great things that we've had since moving to Winslow Township, how appreciative we are of the leadership in the schools as well as in the community. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you. Hope that in the future I can better serve you, not just for myself, but for my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dale. We appreciate you and your daughter, and she will stand for everyone who's here. Thank you. On behalf of the board, I know we welcome you, and we stand ready to assist you in your growth and transition to Winslow Township School District, and we value the partnership we will have with your family and you.
Doctor, you also have 2 minutes and 15 seconds if you'd like to continue to compliment and would have welcomed it. No, I'm kidding.
The only thing I will say is the good Lord did bless me with a great last name. So anytime you can want to sing it or say it, just give me a hey yo. Nothing cooler than walking into a cafeteria and hearing hundreds of kids sing to me. Have a blessed evening. Thanks.
Thank you. premature time. Is there any other announcements? Any other discussion as we wait for 2 minutes for any other callers?
I have something I have to ask about. I noticed that we didn't have any policies, and I know we're working on the festival policies. I was wondering if the policy committee is meeting with him before they.
Wait, that's set a date for the next meeting.
Do we, I remember when we were making changes at one point to uniform policy, we had to notify. I know when we were making changes to uniform policy, at one time we had to notify the parents within a certain amount of time. So that's what I was concerned about, but we would have the policy in effect.
So the policy committee did meet, however, we have not scheduled the next meeting.
Is there any callers on the line?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I entertain a motion to close public comment.
Motion to close public comment.
Second. It's been properly moved by Mrs. Martin and second by Mrs. Moore to close public comments. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion has carried. Our solicitor, is there?
Yeah, there is one very brief item that should be 5 minutes or less. So in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, we would be going into executive session at approximately 9:04 p.m. And of the items that we would be entering into for discussion, it would be matters involving employment, appointment, terms and conditions of employment, which is item 8, and I would anticipate that that will not exceed 10 minutes until.
I entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second. It's been moved, properly moved by Mrs. Martin, second by Mrs. Moore. Roll call.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens, yes, Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas, yes, Ms. Peterson,
Yes,
and Ms. Perry.
thank you.